Hey, greetings and salutations, and welcome to this edition of Positive Attitudes. This is where we are providing enlightening and empowering wellness information that's useful resources and a more intimate look at some of the heroes that are out there doing the damn thing. Positive Attitudes is an important part of healing. And so we're the podcast that asks the question, what's right with you? I'm your host, Reggie Smith, and today I want to let you know that there's a lot going on in the world due to COVID-19, but you already know that. But HIV is still an issue that disproportionately affects Black families. So, to get an update on what's going on in Georgia as it relates to HIV, we're blessed to have my new best friend, J. Paul Kirk. J. Paul
How
Kirk,
you doing?
how you doing, Jay?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Great, thank you. Great. Jay, you are the HIV testing program manager at AIDS Healthcare Foundation, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just a little bit about HIV. The AIDS Healthcare Foundation. It's the largest global AIDS organization in the world, and it provides care and treatment to over 1.5 million individuals in 43 countries and counting. And the AIDS mission, if I'm not mistaken, is providing cutting edge medicine and advocacy regardless of the ability to pay. Because you support it through various business lines like the AHF pharmacies, the out of the closet thrift stores, and healthcare contracts, and other strategic partnerships that generate funding that help AHF provide life saving services to thousands of people all across the world. And so we're blessed to have you, Jay. Man, what's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Just as the weather changes, just trying to get my wardrobe right.
Yeah, I got those Cosby sweaters in the closet. I'm starting to break out.
Right, trying to get rid of some things and put some things in the closet.
Right, right. Because you're down here in Georgia with us, right?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
I am.
tell us a little bit about what you do over at AHF and what's going on with the advocacy for AIDS here in Georgia.
So yeah, we're located here, as you mentioned before. We're located here in Atlanta, Georgia, but we're also across 17 states here in the United States.
Hmm.
Georgia just being one of them, or Atlanta being our primary. And so I am the manager over our testing program, which involves two methods of testing. One is through our mobile testing van, where we go out into various spaces and high risk areas around the Atlanta metro area,
Hmm.
various counties, as well as outside counties, to provide HIV screens and linkage to care.
Okay.
And so we try to partner with various organizations that may request us to come and provide our services and then link those persons to care that may be in need. So just depending on where you are, I mean, there's no space within the state of Georgia that we can't go to provide services, at least those services, and link you into care just depending on where we are and if we have to use another a health department or something like that for the linkage to care process.
Okay. How do you feel about the work you do, man? How'd you get into this work?
Well, I mean, I've been in HIV or in the field of public health surrounding HIV for 21 years.
Okay.
And so I initially started out working in the Fulton County Jail, assisting individuals that were not receiving proper care while they were incarcerated, as well as helping them with linking to care. Well, it wasn't linkage to care at that time,
Hmm.
but helping them with linking to services as they were being discharged, and also advocate for individuals who may have minor charges, to assist them with getting into substance abuse, mental health programs, things like that. So that's how I started.
Okay.
Initially working for well-known agency Aid Atlanta, but I've kind of
Hmm.
transitioned through the years through various capacities, dealing with research, working for Emory, as far as disparities in health and how HIV, being tested for HIV and accessing care, what does that look like for high risk communities? To working for the health departments. So just all kind of different perspectives of HIV. It's just been my thing that I've been doing for the last few years. And so this one has just been mostly just focusing on testing and linkage to care for the last 4 years here with AIDS Healthcare Foundation.
Great, great. Now I heard you, and that's what you're doing and where you've been doing it. But I'm talking about how did you get into this, man? What drove you? Why HIV? I mean, you could have done anything, smart brother.
Yeah, well, like most, I had a family member who had passed away from HIV from IV drug use,
Okay.
and the issue also was that none of the family knew until they appeared at the hospital and they were on their transitioning.
Right.
So that was one of the first things that got me interested in it. And then the second was when I was doing when I first started, I didn't know if I was going to stay in the field, but I kept seeing individuals that looked like me.
Right.
And so that just kind of sparked it even further, just it motivated me even further to see what is it that I can do to make an impact on stopping this process, because it just became where I want to help individuals as much as I can. There were so many different determinants to health, and so my charge was, let me see what I could do to further this a little bit, further my actions to make an impact, and just kept moving from there. And like I said, in various capacities, just trying to do that and understand the whole gamut of HIV in the African American community. It's been church based initiatives, a lot of things that I've just been a part of, just to keep me motivated and kind of make being a voice.
Now that makes a
Uh,
lot of sense, man. I feel your passion. In full disclosure, for those who don't know, I've been HIV positive since I've been diagnosed since 1988, and so
mhm.
I've seen a lot of what you're talking about as far as families. The stigma keeps people quiet, and people actually transition without family members knowing, and it's a big thing. There's a lot going on, so. For
Mm,
it to have driven you to this work, man, we thank you. We thank you very much.
um,
So what are some of the things that we can do, man? I mean, like it's important that we freedom comes from sharing, from being able to feel free to share what exactly your situation is. That's how I got a lot of my information. I wasn't afraid to go into, because the LGBTQ community has really been active, and they that is where I had to go to get a lot of information. Do you see what's going on with the black families? I know in the straight community that a lot of people are not getting information as a result of stigma. What can we do
yeah.
about that?
Uh, I think for families, one of the things that that needs to happen, we're trying. I mean, we may have to do a go around, but a lot of things with family is talking directly to the kids, because the adults, we still, some of us still have that mind frame of of it still being a gay disease, and really not understanding the risk, and still not having those conversations surrounding those around sex,
Mhm,
drug use,
mhm.
needle use, and not necessarily in the capacity of shooting drugs as much as it is. It could be tattoo parties, things like that, where
Right,
people are viewing it as a risk behavior, but at the same time they're sharing a needle, and so it's not seen in that light. But there's so many different dynamics that we
right.
only focus on for as black families, where we're still catching up to that. Okay, well,
Hmm.
it's not still catching, it's not a gay disease, because yes, you're finding cousins that no, they just have multiple partners, and just as much male and female, some disclose, some do not.
Mhm.
So for that male that that wants to be that guy and have multiple multiple women in his stead, whatever that is for him,
Right,
it's still not understanding that you're putting yourself at risk with that. And I think as black families, we're slowly getting out of that. I mean, and be it here in the South, churches are starting to come around.
Where are you
Um,
from? Where are you from?
I mean, I'm originally from California,
Okay.
so but I've been in Georgia since '98, so
Wow.
about 97, 98. So
Mhm.
yeah, so I've grown family and everything here, and we've had conversations about sex and protecting yourself, as well as other risks that are not necessarily spoken about. So
Right,
I
right.
think being open about that, which takes some time, because again, it's still the Bible Belt. I don't care what anyone else says.
Praise
Um,
God. Praise God. Hallelujah.
yes, every day.
Hmm.
So So for us to kind of break that mold and get out of those taboos and stigmas that we see or that we've kind of been leaning on for so many years, to move forward on, to get past those, and let's let our children know that that if they're at risk, we need to talk about it. And again, just going back to the aspect of getting the children involved. Like, I think as children are more open, or I won't say children, but young adults and teens are now really open to for their sexuality.
Hmm.
Be it mostly misguided in certain situations, how they present it, but
Right.
then at the same time they're more accepting of LGBTQ individuals, compared to myself or potentially yourself, where that was more taboo, and people kept that as in the closet.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, so
Hmm.
I think as the Black family moves forward and progresses, the younger generation, as we go out, we're getting that into their brain to reduce the stigma, to say that, yeah, even though I may be only dealing with one guy, I still want to protect myself. Getting the HIV test necessarily doesn't necessarily warrant that I'm promiscuous.
Right.
It's just something that that I take a part of my everyday health screenings and for my health overall, to assure that I'm protecting myself and my potential partners moving
Man,
forward.
you are dropping science. Didn't have to ask you, Jack. You know, just dropping the science. I appreciate that. You know,
No
and
problem.
it's a great imagery for people to be able to see, two ostensibly straight black men. And like I said, I contracted it more than likely either through sexual contact or through IV drug use because I was active drug user. You know, until 1985. And these are just the consequences of life. But if we can get around the judgment, stigma has its root in judgment, either of other people judging us or us judging ourselves,
Yeah.
and be able to share the information. And like you said, yeah, the younger generation is more free. We were more free than our elders. So that's going to
Right.
continue to evolve, but they need the information. And information
Mhm.
is important. And if we can look at things in a different light, because sexual energy is just that, it's energy.
Right.
But biology is biology, and the retrovirus of HIV is just looking for a host. And so we don't
Yeah.
want to be that host. And even if we are, we want to deal with the emotional, the emotional baggage that comes with it, and all of the different challenges. So I've been married for 36 years, and still there are issues. My wife is still negative. So, there's issues. And we're going to get a chance to deal with those issues here on Positive Attitudes. So I'm extremely glad that you were able to join us today. And one of the things that we like to do here on Positive Attitudes is ask each and every guest this one question. You ready?
I'm ready for it.
All right. What's right with you, man? What's right with you?
Uh, what's right with me
Hmm.
is a thought process of optimism. Always being optimistic that things will turn out. Always glass half full. Always looking. I operate in a mind state of abundance. I want individuals to be abundant spiritually, physically, mentally, to have that in their brains that things, I keep working, keep plugging. It will get better. Don't give up. And that's just the messaging that I always want to put out, to individuals, as far as just having, if anything, the right mindset. Things are going to be thrown at you, and how we react to it, determines a lot of where we're going to end up. And so a lot of individuals, what's right with me is that if you come to me, I'm gonna help you as best as I possibly can. I only go as far as you're willing to go. And then I'll take you to the door, but you got to knock and walk in.
Right.
And so just living off that mindset just for a very very long time is just something that I always had, and what's right with me at this time. So I appreciate the question.
Man, we appreciate your answer, and we appreciate you being where you are, doing all that you do, and being who you are. So we
Yes.
appreciate you and we support you. Once again, we've been talking to J. Paul Kirk. He is the HIV program manager over at the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. And thank you very much, Jay.
Let me add one thing, or just a real quick announcement. So I
Sure.
know you got to move forward.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, on As we all know, World AIDS Day is coming up.
Okay.
That's December the 1st. We'll be out in the community, obviously providing HIV screenings. We're partnering with the Elton John AIDS Foundation and Walmart Health to provide those services around various locations around the Atlanta metro area. I know we will be in East Point on Cleveland Avenue, as well as on Howell Mill. But then also on December the 4th, we'll be unveiling a mural for individuals that have impacted HIV and AIDS here in the metro area on December the 4th, right off of Campbellton Road. So if anyone's interested, you can pretty much reach out to Aid Atlanta to get that information in regards to that event coming up, because we want people to come out and recognize there are individuals that we don't hear about that have made an impact, and we want to make sure that they're recognized in the community. As you said at the beginning, it's still impacting our communities, and so just as a gathering to commemorate World AIDS Day and to be able to move forward and what our next steps will be.
Absolutely. And hopefully you'll be able to hook us up with those heroes. I know one of them in particular. And did you mention, are the names out there yet? I
Yeah,
don't want
one is
to.
Dazon, Miss
Dazon, that's
Diazon
my girl.
Diallo.
Dazon, yeah, that's my girl
Yes,
from way back over the WRG. And she's been doing absolutely wonderful work, not only here in Atlanta, but in South Africa.
exactly. Incredible woman for sure.
Incredible, incredible.
Incredible sister. We have Nicole Roebuck
Nicole,
from
yes, yes,
Aid Atlanta, executive director for Aid
yes,
Atlanta.
yes,
I used to work with Nicole, in my days at Aid Atlanta. So it's
yes.
great to see her kind of, be muralized in some capacity,
Right.
knowing what she's been through and continue to make an impact in
Yes,
the
yes.
community. The gentleman, Michael Banner.
Yes, yes. Oh,
Michael Banner is definitely being a strong advocate in the
yes,
community, and most
absolutely.
people that know Michael Banner know he don't fool around with
Right.
making sure the services and things are right for those who are in need that are living with HIV, and as well as I know him for some years too. Now,
Absolutely.
there's two other individuals. I don't know their names. I don't know their names directly, but they'll also be involved in that as well. So it will be that Saturday, December the 4th. And like I said, please, anyone that's listening or that may come out or that come out. And best thing I can tell you is that as far as location is going to Greenbrier Mall. When you get off on Campbellton Road, you will see the mural from the exit, and that's where we will be.
We'll
So
definitely be going out there looking for that. And that's this year. This the World AIDS Day, of course, is December 1st. The mural presentation will be on December 4th,
well, yes.
and there'll be so much more coming. And I'm surprised that you and I haven't linked up in the past, man. We've both been in the same circles for so long.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been interesting. Like I said, I think we may have came across in a quick conversation, but again, when you're grinding and kind of getting your head down and trying to make some things happen, eventually it comes back around. So it's just glad to connect with you again and see what we can do and what impact you make and hey, at the same what you have been making, and at the
yes,
same time making having that synergy to put that out, especially for the heterosexual community,
yes,
and
yes.
see where we could take that, and have some further discussions on gelling and making sure that voice becomes a little bit louder in this fight, to get to zero as far as HIV and AIDS.
I'm looking forward to that. So thank you again, J. Paul Kirk. I'm your host, Reggie Smith, and I'm asking you to please go to my website, reggiesmith770.com, and get some of the copies of my latest best-selling book, Resurrection: Participate in Your Own Salvation or Be Complicit in Your Own Demise. Now, 50% of the proceeds from the sales of the books is going to our foundation, the Reginald and Dion Smith Foundation, and our programs are focused on families affected by HIV, viral hepatitis, and substance use disorders. And you can also join us in our private virtual network community. It's therdsf.com. And that's where we are focusing on wellness, awareness, and recovery. Look, this has been fun, but we got to run. I'll see you on the other side of the moon. And until the next
Yes, sir.
time, peace and blessings.